Hello, and welcome to The Art Will Not Be Changing. Try as you may, as much as you like. And I had the YouTube on in the background. That is a total amateur mistake, a rank amateur. And I will flagellate myself for it later. If you don't know what that means, it's not what you think it means. But also that. So we have got a great show tonight. And I'm really excited about our guest. Super cool project. And as always, while we're live, and I'm psyched that so many people have been jumping on this, Fugitive Poems Comics, if you order them while we are live for the next hour, you will get the new Fugitive Poems sticker, which yet again I have misplaced right before the show, which is kind of incredible that I do that. But you will also get, and it's badass, you'll also get one of these vintage explicit advisory, parental advisory explicit content. I've got it on my Yeti, I've got it on my computer, I've got it everywhere because people need to be warned about me. We have Containment Breach Volume 2, Myth Reborn. We've got some of the most incredible indie creators around that are doing they do incredible work in here, retelling mythology, twisting it, turning it on its head. And there is a young woman with a rat in her apartment as well that gets truly horrific that James Drew and I wrote. Look at this puppy. There's 162 pages of pure fantasy, horror, sci-fi, gory love, and messed up humor, which is pretty good. We also have Containment Breach Volume 3. And that's, if you're a big fan of sci-fi, this is our sci-fi anthology of Clouds and Ether. This was 172 pages of badass comicry. I've never said that before. Independent artists from all over the world, literally all over the world, putting their crazy, incredible comics. Think Heavy Metal Magazine when you think Containment Breach, with bizarre humor and just the best artists going right now. Also, Blood Valkyrie in Vegas. You've heard me say it before, but it's so fresh every time. A young woman goes to a party that turns into a satanic blood orgy. I mean, really, do I need to say anything else? It is amazing. It's so much fun. And then finally, we have the first issue of the River series about a drug dealer who gets his hands on a time machine and proceeds to fuck up the universe. And there are 6 Pennsylvania cops on this trail who have no idea what's going on or how to stop them. No science. This isn't science like a scientist trying to solve a problem. These are a bunch of blue-collar guys that don't know why they're careening through time or what the hell is happening. Right now, if you order right now, you will get the incredible Fugitive Poems sticker. You will get the parental advisory sticker. And you will get, maybe I'll draw a picture on your package. That sounds terrible. It sounds like flagellation, but maybe I will. Maybe it'll happen anyway. Folks, order now during this hour and you get that. But what are we talking about tonight? A couple of weeks ago, we had the great Doug Wood on the show, and he brought with him two stray dogs. No, he brought with him an incredible team. And Brendan Albetski, welcome to the show, was one of them. My favorite stray dog.
Oh, that's going on the pull quotes. Thanks for having me back, Christian. It's good to be back. I had a great time last time, and it was one of those moments where it's just like I was on the show and it's like, all right, I gotta come back on my own and hawk my own shit because this is absolutely the correct audience.
Yeah. Well, when you've got satanic blood orgy people showing up, the
Oh
kind of
yeah.
people that are down with that, then
Oh
you're in the
yeah.
right place.
You're in the right
Absolutely.
place for sure.
We've got Tom Lynott, my man, in the audience. He says you're rank for sure. He is not wrong. He is not wrong. So, you were on for Doug Wood's Inheritance.
right.
You're the artist on that.
That's correct.
And the art was absolutely beautiful. The Kickstarter funded, and so it's coming out. You're working on that.
I am.
And meanwhile, you've got this massive project of your own.
Yes, I do. Yeah, all kinds. So yes, I am working on Inheritance, and thank you to everybody who backed Inheritance. Super excited to be able to get to make that book. The irony of being on a show called The Art Will Not Be Changing, and I've actually changed the art again since I was on the show. You know, the best part is that Travis and Doug don't know yet. This is my surprise reveal that I went back and touched up pencils that that Travis already inked. So hopefully he won't be too mad at me. I think it's to the benefit of the comic. So
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So Picasso said, or not, it's hard to tell where quotes come from anymore. A piece of art is never finished; it's abandoned. When do you have to let it go?
Well, with MaruKiri, I'm hoping it's going to be this, because once again we've got a thing where I changed all the art in something that was finished. When I did the TPB release for this, and that is what I'm here to talk about today, is MaruKiri Destroy the Moon First Heresy, my trade paperback. Released the first story arc, MaruKiri, 192 pages, full color, all that fun stuff. Project I've been working on for more than 7 years now, since 2019. And this really was my first great big comic epic. And I started it at the time thinking to myself that, you know, I'm a self-taught artist and I'm kind of an idiot. So I was thinking to myself, you know, my art's not going to get any better. This is 7 years ago. I'm saying this. You know, I'm never going to get any better at this. Now's the time to start my big epic comic that's going to look consistent all the way through. And that was, you know, false, because something that I have definitely learned in my art journey is that you never stop improving as an artist. And really the only thing that ties all of your work together at the end of the day is the fact that you did it. Doesn't really matter at what point in your history. So Picasso is a great example, because there's a guy whose style massively changed throughout the course of his career, but it's kind of all lumped together on a wall somewhere. In any case, I decided to go back. Hey, I know this guy.
As you're discussing your art evolution, this comment comes in from Elijah. I had to put it up.
Yeah. But anyways, this is and you know, I love Elijah too. We're going to talk a little bit about Elijah and something he's contributed to this project a little bit later that I'm really excited about. But I did a remaster when I did this TPB, and I started this in like February of this year, and I did it with the first chapter, and I loved the way it came out so much. I just kind of did it as a test run to see if it was something I wanted to do for all the early comics. And I loved the result of it so much that I said I just barreled through it immediately, and I spent the next 3 or 4 weeks just working nonstop 7 days a week, hacking through this. And straight to print right after that. No Kickstarter, no crowdfunding, no nothing. Funded the first print run myself. I'm impatient. I ain't got time to bleed. So it was something I wanted to get out into the world to have at cons this year. I didn't want to, you know, do a month of pre-launch and then a month of campaign and then a month to get them printed and then the year's half over. It's like, I want them now. So yeah, I funded a print run of myself. And the idea being that when I sold out of that, it would fund the next one and have a little money to put in my pocket aside from that. We were talking just before the show that, yeah, I sold out my first print run. So they're on back order right now. You can still buy them. I'll throw a link in the chat.
Can you, put that link in the chat. We've got
the direct link to the store.
Artist who's also an idiot. You're in good company.
This comment has failed to post to Fugitive Poems Comics. Didn't work.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Put it in the private chat and I'll put it up.
Yeah, I'll do that for you. This is the direct link to buy the trade paperback. And I signed in and everything. I'm disappointed in the system here. Anyways, that's the direct link that goes to my coffee store, and you can buy them from me, and I pack them up and ship them to you myself. When they come in, and currently they're due to come in on the 5th of May, I will be filling all the back ordered issues at that point, and I'll give you a little tracking link from the United States Postal Service, and you'll get your book in a couple of days after that. So it's not a perfect system, but it works. And right now, like I said, I was not expecting to sell out as quickly as I did. So I thought I would have a little bit more time to kind of do the print run, but I have a gallery show in Northampton, Massachusetts that's opening tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
They grabbed my last 5 copies to sell in the gallery. So it was like I got scooped. So yeah, I was going to launch print run anyways, but now it's official. I need them. But of course, there's also a PDF copy available for $10. You can get it on the same coffee page. So, go ahead. Those are always going to be available. We don't run out of those. And I will always be, backfilling the print run.
Here we go.
New ones out there, but there it is. Yeah. Buy that trade paperback. I handle all the ordering and processing myself. You can shoot me an email or a direct message at any time and ask about your order. I will have the answers because I'm the man with all the answers when it comes to MaruKiri. But yeah, that's the story on what's going on with this. I could talk about it endlessly in a rambling.
Well, that's good because you just said everything I had planned for the show.
Yeah,
in about 32 seconds. We got some comments coming in. We had that one. This dude is awesome. Tom Line had said. The trade is so dope.
It is.
Said. I'm a self-taught writer and an idiot as well.
We got 3 here today. That's gonna have to start a club or something. Get jackets.
So, folks, I put the link in the chat, and if you see, you can order it right here.
Yes.
How many pages is this bad boy?
192 pages, and it's all killer, no filler. There are a couple of page breaks where I had to. Part of the remaster was to make sure that when I started this, I'm going to back it up way back. When I started doing this comic, it was a webcomic, never meant to print it at all. So my first time printing it was with a small publisher called Castaigne Publishing out of Kentucky. And they did a great job of working with me to actually get it ready for print the first time. But there was still a lot of things that I thought that I could improve this second time around. There's some really climactic pages where key elements. I love the 2-page spread, as you may be aware. But there's some really climactic moments where there are key elements that are right on the fold. So I in the remaster, I kind of fixed all those little mistakes, and I nudged things where they needed to go, framed stuff a little bit better, just to make it more legible across the board. I really want to lean on my fundamentals, and I left the inks largely intact. I kind of stripped out all the colors. I stripped out all the BS that I did to cover what I thought were weaknesses in the art, which really was just a lack of confidence on my part. And it's like looking back now, 7 years later, going through this remaster, I'm really just doing stuff that present me would have advised past me to do at time of creation of the comic. We didn't go through adding dewbacks. But we did kind of you just grow it naturally. It's a remaster, not a redraw, right? It was really important to me that I not redraw and spend a lot of time redrawing the comic because the art is still great. It was just there were things that I could lean on, fundamentals that I was not confident enough in at the time that are good enough to shine on their own, that didn't need to be covered up and lampshaded with effects lines and things like that. I have a better mastery of color now than I did when I was doing it the first time. And there were things that I was looking at and saying, we can use color to tell the story of place and to set the scene, to set the tone, in ways that I was not aware that I was capable of back then. So, redoing all the lettering, redoing all the coloring, and just letting what was already a very strong comic shine in its greatest point of potential. So
and it is magnificent. It's a tremendous read. It's so imaginative and inventive, and the art absolutely balances that. I've got 15 questions to ask you.
All right,
in regard to all of that.
Sure.
So let's take a step back. Where did MaruKiri come from?
It was a real pantser moment. and there was this guy named Scott Madrinsky, and I have to assume he's still around. We've kind of lost touch. I haven't talked to him in a few years, but that's as much my fault as anybody's. I owe him an email. But Scott Madrinsky is an artist, and he did a lot of really cool charity collabs around the time of the lockdown. And he did 2 X-Men trading card collabs, and he did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trading card collab. And I was on all of them. And he did a remote art show called Ice Cream Social that I also contributed something to.
Yeah.
And he was just somebody who we used to bullshit all the time and just talk about art and stuff. And he was always somebody who's just like really supportive of me and really supportive of what I do. And he asked me at some point, he's just like, I know you want to do comics and stuff, and like, what's your next thing? What do you want to do? And I just kind of came out with, I want to make a comic about barbarians that blow up the moon. And he got really, 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 really excited about that, and in a way that I was not expecting. And it was just made me think that, like, okay, there's like something to this more than just like the ridiculousness of saying it out loud. So I just kind of grew it from there. And there were a couple of false starts. The chapter 1 of First Heresy is like the 3rd attempt that I took at actually like using the character and putting her in a comic. Her name changed, her appearance changed quite a bit from when I originally conceived the character. And like I said, we had some false starts, and then there will be some point where I'll put out some behind the scenes material on my members only stuff on my coffee page, showing off kind of the early non-start comics, because I drew a lot of pages that kind of, I put to the side. But it really just became apparent to me as I was working on it that, like, this is my big idea. Like, this is the big series that I want to do. And I had that moment where I was like, well, my art's not going to get any better. Now's the time to start this one. We're over that now. I know I want to keep getting better. It's like every issue I want to make it the best thing that I've ever done. You got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. So I'm not scared of that anymore. But yeah, it was just the kind of thing that started as kind of just this weird offhand comment to try to, just to get a laugh out of somebody. And it quickly became like, oh shit, though, this is like the thing. This is really my thing. It's my Star Wars, as it were. But that's the feeling that it started to take on with me. And it's the one project that's like, I never get tired of it. I never get burned out on it. I'm always excited to go back to it. I'm at a point right now where it's like I'm working on Inheritance, which is fantastic, and I love working on that book. And it's such a cool new experience for me, doing a superhero comic, doing something that is essentially a family drama comic, where it's mostly like a conversation and people just being sad, finding creative ways to express that on the page is a new challenge for me that I've not had to do before, because most of my comics are about buff wizards screaming at each other and blowing shit up. But working on that, and after that I have booked to do for The Royal, which is funding on Kickstarter right now, which is another ultra violent comic, but of a different bent. And then following that, I'm probably going to have some more Circuit Champ that I want to do, and there's a couple other projects that I have kind of tentatively scheduled out for the rest of the year. And in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, but where am I going to squeeze MaruKiri into all of that? Because I've got more that I want to do this year. I've already done 48 pages this year of new MaruKiri, but it's like I've got at least 8 more that I want to do before I put out another floppy. And I do want to do that this year, and I would love to do it in time for Terrificon, and I would love to do some kind of crowdfunding campaign. But I tell you what, if I run out of time, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to print it myself, because I proved that I can do that now. So
you will be at Terrificon.
I will be at Terrificon. Yeah. Yep.
Me too.
I'll be with the fine folks at Guildworks Press and Panico Press. I'll be tabling with them. So
we got to hang.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, I love, I talk to people all over the world, but specifically all over the country. And I'm like, I'm never going to meet these cool people, but you and I can actually meet.
We are going to meet. Yeah. We'll have, and there's some other cool people that I'll be hanging out with there that I think you'll probably enjoy meeting as well. So
I got to meet Elijah Joseph last year, actually.
Yeah, I that is all. I was right across the aisle from Elijah last year. So you must have just missed me.
I was in that aisle.
I was right across the way.
I
Yeah,
wonder if we talked.
it's possible. It's distinctly possible.
Yeah, because I hung out by Elijah for a while.
Yeah,
That's funny.
because that's
All
where I
right,
met
well,
Elijah as well. Was at Terrificon last year.
so all right, so you barbarians who blow up the moon.
That's right.
All right, let's see. Where do I want to go with this? Let's start with are there any particular influences like for vibe, like Mad Max or I don't know. Are there any things that you're channeling? I want to be in this fucking lane. This is the shit I love, and I want to be doing this. Is there anything like that?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Conan the Barbarian movie.
Got it.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And Gene Wolfe, Book of the New Sun.
I don't know the last one. What is?
You should read Book of the New Sun. Book of the New Sun's good. There's a fan. Oh, I actually have it right here. There's an awesome. It's not. I mean, you call it a zine, but it's like a beautiful hardbound folio book called Book of Fulgen. That was coming to look at that.
Wow.
Did a Kickstarter a couple of years ago, and Ramon Perales, who is a Spanish cartoonist, spearheaded this and did collected just just a huge amount of amazingly talented artists and writers, and you can see them all in the back here. This beautifully laid out book. And I saw them working on this, and it was just like, oh my God, I need to know more about like what this is. And it's in all fan works inspired by Gene Wolfe and the Book of the New Sun, and which is a tremendous sci-fi novel, which I read in preparation for Book of Fulgen. And I actually went on to read his further two trilogies, the Book of the Long Sun and the Book of the Short Sun. Each of those are trilogies. I ended up reading 10 books by Gene Wolfe, and it's like change your brain chemistry kind of stuff.
Wow,
absolutely mind-bending fantasy sci-fi stuff. And again, it's like I said, change your life. And yeah, so that's like became a huge impact on kind of the way I want to tell the story of MaruKiri.
Check out Vaughn Bode.
I should do that.
Some of his style in the comic.
That's cool. I will definitely do that.
My man Claudio right there. Claudio has a whole other branch of comic and literature knowledge. Every time I talk to him, he turns me on to something else that I had no idea about.
I'm going to be on a plane soon, so I'm going to need some stuff to bring with me. I'm going to look it up. But yeah, so the kind of the bombast and the colors and whatnot comes from Araki and JoJo, and I love all the JoJo animes. Diamond is Unbreakable is what I was watching when I first started doing MaruKiri. And that's really kind of where the saturated neon color palette it owes a lot to that. And then Arnie Conan is quintessential Conan for me, which is sacrilege for some Conan fans, but I don't care. I'll die on that hill. I have my German Conan the Barbarian poster, which is over my desk right now, which is an actual film, theater used film poster. It's a transparency. If I could backlight it, I would be able to have like a.
Oh, that's cool.
But I don't have that set up. But it is cool that I have that. Then the German poster art, I think, is actually the coolest one of all of the Conan the Barbarian movie poster art. But yeah, those are like the big three for this.
I recommend Cobalt 60 by his son Mark Bode. All right. Vaughn Bode and Mark Bode, father and son, got to get on that. Thank you, Claudia.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, and I'm almost seeing some European coloring in here as well.
Oh, sure.
Do you have any influences in that direction?
I mean, it's possible that I've just kind of picked it up along the way. I can't even point to anything necessarily specific at that. I think we're just going on vibes at this point. There's a kind of a lurid wasteland color palette that I think a lot about Rich Corbin when I think about vibe. And so there's definitely that owes a lot to that in this. I was reading Murky World about a year
Yes.
ago, and I love that book. And there's you want to find kind of like the meeting point of like the muddy earth tones and
Yeah.
the bright, lurid, saturated colors, and like Corbin has that on lockdown. So I've always looked at Rich Corbin as somebody
I
who is
love
like,
Corbin, and that book
yeah,
is tremendous.
yeah.
Absolutely. So what is her story? Why does she want to destroy the moon? She looks angry, but also sort of bemused through these opening pages.
Yeah.
What's going on here? What's the story?
I mean, I can't tell you. I can give you. I mean, I can give you
Get
some.
off my show.
Yeah, I can give you some, but I can't give you all because that's the book, right? But it's a revenge story that kind of gets told part and parcel as we start kind of in the middle of things, and then you get the backstory sort of revealed to you a little bit more and more as you go. All you really know at the start is that she wants to blow up the moon, specifically to end this cult of the moon religion that rules the entire world, and that she's doing it as an act of vengeance. And that's where it starts. And then, so what's the why, right? That's what kind of starts to unfold as we see more of her backstory going forward. But the kind of driving force of the narrative from the starting point in chapter 1 is Maru discovers that she has magic powers, which is not supposed to be possible, because the cult of the moon controls all magic on Tulth, because there was this great sorcerer war 1,000 years ago. The world used to be ruled by 7 sorcerer kings. And then the god Golusar decided that he was tired of that. So he killed them all and took all magic power from the living core of the planet, ripped it out, put it in the moon, and said, this is all mine now. And so now he rules the planet Tulth from his palace on the moon, and directs all action and all magic on the planet through his high wizard priest Manotatus, who's the guy with the big horned helmet, who's voiced by Elijah Joseph in the comic dub, which we just announced this week as coming soon.
What is that? Tell us, what is that?
Yeah, I put a link in the private chat, because apparently I can't drop links on the comments like I wanted to be able to, but there's a YouTube link in that private chat, which is the comic dub trailer. And when I did my first Kickstarter campaign, I exceeded my goal very quickly. We funded on day 1. And so I was like, ooh, I got to think of stretch goals. And I went a little nuts. And I got it in my head that I was going to do this motion comic, and I have no experience doing anything like that. But I had it in my head that I was going to do this motion comic, and I hired the incredible Autumn Ivy to do the voice of MaruKiri, and Autumn recorded voice lines for the entire first volume. So I have all of Maru's lines recorded, and I've had them for years. We didn't make the stretch goal. We didn't make the stretch goal. So I put in my first post campaign update that was just like, I know we didn't make the stretch goal, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And then it was just like it became too much, and life got in the way, work got in the way. I just didn't have time to do it. This year I was cruising around on Instagram Reels, and I noticed that Elijah was doing a lot of comic dubs, just like of like 3-panel strips or whatever. He's just reading both parts, doing different voices and everything. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe he like knows somebody who might be able to do voice acting. Maybe he'd have an interest in doing some voice acting for me. And then I did a little bit more diving into like some of his profiles and stuff, and I saw him doing stand-up comedy, and I said, I think that this is the Manotatus voice. And it seemed kind of weird because he's the big imposing villain guy, and it's like and most of Elijah's characters are in kind of a higher register, but I hear him do some of these things and he can get down pretty deep. And I was like, I think that he's got the right temperament to do the character the way that I want him to do, because the Manitota's character is villainous, but he's also very unserious, and he enjoys, being cruel and being villainous. He loves to be bad, So there's an element of glee to like everything that he does. And I sent out some feelers to Elijah, and I was just like, would you be interested in doing this? And I gave him, I told him what I want, was paying for it and everything, and he agreed to do it. And then I looked at what indie voice actors are being paid for stuff like this, and I realized that I lowballed them like really bad. So I went back and I was just like, look, I did a little bit of research on this, and I'm going to give you more money because it just to kind of match what you would be able to get on the market. But yeah, we did a recording session, and he just knocked it out of the park, and we had a lot of fun kind of hammering out the various elements of the character. And then I put out a casting call on the Cartoonist Co-op Discord for Yaga, who does all the narration and also has some dialogue lines as well. And I got in touch with Multiplies, who is another kind of like, they were like another out of left field. The credit they showed me was them voicing like a sentient PDA in a short, and it was very funny, and it was one of those things that was they were like, I think this is up my alley. It's not like anything I've really done before, but I'd like to give it a shot if you want to give me a chance. And I said, that's like how I've lived my entire life, so absolutely I want to give you a chance. Can you age up your voice a little bit? Can you kind of do Turbo Granny from Dan to Dan? And do something like that. And they were like, yeah. So they recorded. We were not able to connect in a session, unfortunately, just because of time zone differences. But they did an awesome job doing it solo. And I cut the audio together for the dialogue this past week, and I started dropping in sound effects. I did a little dungeon synth score myself on my little toy keyboard, which. I make all my music on this. It's literally a toy. People. I played it for my partner, and she was like, "You made all this music on that little keyboard?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a surprisingly powerful tool." You listen to, if you go and you watch the trailer, it's about 40 seconds long, the trailer, but you get a taste of the Dungeons and score that I'm doing. I'm going to do a different track for every chapter. So we're going to do it in 10 chapters. First one's almost done. I got to hire Elijah and Multi back to come and do the rest of their lines. And I'm going to need voice actors to do Salmo and Juval and Bonza and everybody else who has not been cast yet.
Let me know. I do some of that, and I love it.
Oh, do you?
I've done it for friends. I've never done it professionally. But I have friends who have voiced comics, and I do that as well.
That would be really cool. We might have something for you.
Let me know.
I'll let you know. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Doing it.
Yeah,
I put folks YouTube comic dub is in the link is in the chat. Check it out. Claudio pointed something out and made me spend money on the spot.
Oh wow!
FYI, they are reprinting Corbin's The Voyage of Sinbad. The previews look mind blowing, and so I ordered it.
I'm gonna get that too.
I'll be yelled at by my wife later.
It's worth it.
It is worth it. Do you know the comic Space Riders?
Do I?
Fabian Wrangle and Alexis Zinnet.
But it sounds really familiar.
I hold on, So I'm looking at your comic, some of the coloring, and this popped into my head. This is just the Amazon.
Oh page. Yes, I've read this. Yep. And
it's wild.
I reviewed this for my old podcast way back in the day, and we were gonzo for this one. Yeah, no, I do know this comic. Yeah, no, this is an amazing book.
So I'm looking at some of your coloring. It's not what they're doing, but there is occasionally a neon like vibe to it as well. I mean, your comic is a beautiful assault on the eyes. It's just happening. It's right there. It's almost like it could be blacklit. There's so much to it. It's great. So here's the thing. I'm a writer, and as I've said a million times on this show, I can't draw for shit. I wish I could, but I wonder about your process as a writer. You said at the beginning that you pantsed the concept.
Yeah.
I pants all my writing.
Mm-hmm.
But there you are doing the writing and the art. How do you write a script and then draw it? Do you find the story from the drawings? How do you go about that process, and how does it flow best?
I write mostly on index cards initially, and I get like my major plot points and how I want to have them arranged. Especially with the current arc that I'm doing, Chosen Ones, which has like 3 or 4 different parallel stories that are happening. First Heresy is nice and easy because it's just like one story all the way through. But things have gotten a little bit more complex in Chosen Ones. And so I have like my A story, B story, C story, and I have like kind of all the points written out on index cards, and then it was started to sort them into where I want them to go. And then from there, I've done it a couple of different ways. Most frequently with MaruKiri, I go straight to thumbnails. Dialogue is the last thing that I do typically. Even when I write dialogue ahead of time, it almost never makes it to print in how it looks in the script initially. So I will sometimes write a big dialogue that I kind of want to have, and oftentimes it won't even make the book at all. It's just like, okay, that happened, but it didn't happen actually on the page. It's just something that they conversed in the background because it really wasn't that interesting. It's just like kind of, I needed these 2 characters to talk and figure it out, and I did that for myself, and now reader didn't actually need to see that. So there's a lot of stuff that happens like that. I throw out a lot. It is one of those things where it's like you have tons and tons and tons and tons, and then there's just a limited amount of time that you have to draw a certain number of pages, and not everything's going to make it in there. So what does make it in? Things getting cut in half with a sword, because that's what the book is, right? But like all that stuff is like, again, in here, all that stuff is happening in the comic, in the background. If I ever want to go back and explore it, I can. I'm not afraid to go back and explore things that happened in a previous story arc. I had to do it recently in Chosen Ones where there was some stuff that was like, all right, we really need to actually see this on the page. So we're going to have a moment where we do a little flashback and just kind of pick up some things that happened, at the end of First Heresy that we didn't see. And now we know about it. Great. So here and there we do stuff like that. But again, it's for the most part, I figure out the story points. I sort them into the order that they need to be. Then I draw the pages. Then I do the dialogue. And then that's kind of the simplest way to explain it. It doesn't work out that cleanly every time, but that is kind of the plan.
But you talk about while you're drawing, you realize that you don't have room for some dialogue.
Yeah.
But what about, has the story ever changed on you based on something you've drawn? Like the actual plot shifted in some way, or a character become more important because you were connected with them while you were drawing with them, or less important?
Yeah, a couple times that's happened. I'm trying to think of characters who were, there are characters that were dropped entirely, especially at the kind of the outset. I had there was kind of a larger party that moved around with Mario at the beginning. It's kind of the way that Mignola developed with Hellboy, where it's like he had like this team of 5 people, and then decided that you only needed 1. So that's kind of how the comic started, and there were definitely some dropped characters, and there are some characters who became more important than maybe they were initially planned to be. And there are characters who, and I don't want to give away necessarily who those characters are, but there's at least one character who definitely changed the course of the comic by showing up. And it was just like, oh, you know what? There's a lot to explore here. With this character, and it's stuff that unfortunately we're probably not going to see for quite a while yet. But it's like I have at this point figured out the rest of the story of the larger comic.
Great. Okay.
Subject to change, but it's more or less figured out.
You've got,
we'll see how long it takes to get there.
You've got other projects in the hopper, and I want to talk about them in a minute.
Yeah.
Do you have a goal for like every year how much MaruKiri you want to put out?
Yeah, I would love to put out. My goal for this year is to put out 60 pages.
Okay.
And last year I only did 28. And part of the reason I only did 28 was because I did the Kickstarter campaign, and it was the kind of thing where it's like, well, I'm going to do one in the spring and I'll do one in the fall, and each one will be about 28 pages, and then I'll have put out about 68 pages at the end of the year, or 60 pages at the end of the year. It was another one of those things where I did the spring one, and then I picked up work and life got in the way, and I never got it together for the fall one. And it's like, okay, so now I've done half of what I wanted to do for my passion project. That's my main IP. That's my main thing that I want to be doing. So this year I'm taking a different approach, which is to say, it'll be done when it's done. And I'm doing all the pages I want to do this year. So yeah, I want to do at least, I would love to do, if I had the resources to do it, I'd just sit down and crank out the whole damn series. But you know, we're not that lucky. So it's little by little, but again, it's like, I have the coffee page going. I have 7 monthly subscribers kicking a little bit in the bucket every month. It helps out a ton. If we suddenly have 100, you're going to see a lot more MaruKiri comics, you know. That's just how these things go. So, you know, if you are a fan of the book and you do want it to come out faster, there is concrete steps that you can take to contributing to that effort. Because again, it's like, if I could make this 100% my full-time thing, that's all I do, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat.
So, folks,
and it's not to say I don't love the books I work on, but it's like, this is the main one, right?
Right. The Ko-Fi is in, or coffee, I don't know how people say it.
I don't, neither do I. I say it differently every time.
Is in the chat. And if you want to go and support, you know, you go back to the Renaissance and you had these crazy artists. I mean, literally, they were like insane people.
Oh, yeah.
Weirdos that everyone kind of avoided sometimes.
Oh, it's so much different now.
Yeah. And exactly. You smelled that. And some rich family would be like, I love your art. Yep. We're going to pay you to make your art. And you'd get, we got the term Patreon, right? The website Patreon. Yeah. You get a patron. And I mean, if you love what somebody's putting out and you want to see more of it, jump on the Ko-Fi, get to Brendan's Ko-Fi and throw something in the pot. And I mean, if you want to see more MaruKiri, I'm going to keep screwing that up.
That's right.
By the way, my sister's in the chat, and as usual during my show is sort of cleaning the kitchen, which she said is dirty despite being at my house for dinner. Yeah, I fed you. Why is your kitchen dirty?
The kitchen just grows dirt. That just happens.
I put the comic dub in the chat as well, and I want to. So let's talk. You're doing other stuff as well, and something caught my attention immediately when I went to look at the Royals. And I zeroed right in on the center of the page there, right above the R and the O. Some beautiful artwork here.
So this comic is written by John Escobalis, who is a fantastic writer. And he is an old school dude who has like come from pulp fiction of, you know, the pulp fiction of that we all love. It is our R-rated comic, as we've been talking about. It's a hard R. There's lurid stuff is going to happen in this book.
I love it.
It's not an NSFW book, but it's a hard R, right? So it's going to be it's ultra violent, very dark, and there is a hefty dose of like 1970s cinematic sleaze that I really think you just don't see very often in comics of today. And for me, doing a book like this, I feel like there's just such a puritanical movement in media across the board in the United States, and we are not going to stand for that.
Oh, fuck no. I mean, listen, at Fugitive Poems, we do Grindhouse.
Yeah.
One day we realized, we were like, what do we do? And I'm like, dude, this is Grindhouse. We're putting out exploitation, action, violence, sex. I mean, this comic, Blood Valkyrie in Vegas, has a 2-page, I won't show it because YouTube gets mad, a 2-page orgy spread. And then the next 2 pages, all those people are being slaughtered. We're putting out crazy shit like that because that's what needs to come out. Just take the chains off. And it's not like we're, super serious. It's fun. Yeah. Because that Grand Junior is fun. And we want that. And I'm loving what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, no, it's a great, this is a great book. And
online it ordered MaruKiri.
Hell yeah. I will
Christian will order 100 of Royal.
We will sell them. You know, we have retailer rates. But, we are, you know, we started the Kickstarter kind of thinking to ourselves that we had a slam dunk on our hands. And my experience with Kickstarter, every time I've done Kickstarter the past couple of years now, is just like there's no such thing as a slam dunk anymore. So it's like, yeah, we're slowly but surely building the war chest here. And I'm a true believer. I really think that we're going to hit it. We still got another week to go. And just like $1,500 to make up. So that's, you know, that's totally achievable. Inheritance was in the same spot, and we funded that campaign, no sweat. So it's like
yeah, Inheritance. All of a sudden, everyone figured it out and jumped on it. As
boom,
well as
you know, yeah. So we're, you know, I have a feeling something similar is going to happen with this, and I'm so confident in the book. I'm so confident in John and the story.
Are all these covers you?
They are all me. Yeah.
Love it.
We came really close to having a Liam Sharp cover for this, but we couldn't get the scheduling right. But maybe I'd issue 2. You might see something like that.
I absolutely love
buddies. Yeah.
Folks, did I? Claudia said Christian does a cameo on the 2-page orgy. Yeah, I'm the angry eunuch in the corner. Did I put it in here? No, I thought I did. So, folks, hold on. You want to get the Royal, and let's get that. Here it is in the chat for you as well. Rich but not wealthy, my man. Did you say 70 sleeves or people in their 70s sleeves? Because in a second, having a full orgy spread might be a bad thing. It's actually one person, but it's totally spread. Just the radio around this. So and Rich, I don't, if you just joined and this comic is so up your alley that Brendan has done MaruKiri. Maybe this right that time. And let's get that, or you can order that. Yeah, we've already got people ordering it.
We appreciate that.
Back in the chat, folks. This is such a cool comic, and it's just the beginning. By the way, I love Her Name. I love Destroy the Moon, and I love First Heresy. We're just on a naming rampage.
Boom, boom, boom.
Great stuff. Let's show that again so people can see what we're talking about here. I'm gonna pop back up to look at that image. I stopped on that for a while. It's gorgeous. A flow to it. It's its own style completely. Here, let's. This is the cover that we're talking about. Barbarians blow up the moon is the concept that started this happening. I love it. So your goal is to get out the next book.
Yep.
But folks, take a look at this. This is absolutely gorgeous. And boom, right in your face. Crazy Eyes, which I always watched out for while I was dating, but ended up dating all those girls. Something about Crazy Eyes. And just the musculature. There's a wildness to this. The art is just I love the angle. Who's this character? This blue character in the hat?
That's Yaga. So Yaga's got the cool hat / mask. She's also the narrator character, and kind of sticks there. I don't know if you scroll down to the robot house that shows up at some point. Loosely based visually on Mignola's Baba Yaga. That was kind of my little nod to that in that character. But yeah, it's I try to do weird stuff, and like I said, that Arnie Conan movie, there are so many costumes in that movie that are just people like heaped in rags with little bits hanging off of them. So we do a lot of that kind of thing. I just want to have like fun, creative, visual things on every single page.
Oh my gosh, I read this comic, and I'm gonna confess something. Oh, here we got Rich. Definitely have to check it out because I absolutely hate the moon.
Yeah.
Finally it's gonna get what it deserves.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck that moon.
You have no idea how many people comment on shit online for MaruKiri Destroy the Moon. I'm just like, you couldn't actually destroy the moon. It would mess up the tides, and you don't really want to do that. And I was like, first of all, don't tell me what to do.
Second of all, let me introduce you to the concept of entertainment.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That was actually the title for the show, Destroy the Moon, or is that a really bad idea considering gravity and all that?
Yeah, right.
So I couldn't resist. Here's my confession. I am a writer.
Mm.
And when I read comics, and I
Mm.
love art,
Mm.
but when I read comics, I find myself jumping from balloon to balloon. My brain seeks out words.
Oh, sure.
And I always have to go back. Like, slow down, Christian, go back. Oh shit, that was a really cool image. How did I miss that? When I read this comic, I was so entranced by the visual. I called it earlier a visual assault, but in the best possible way. Every page is exploding out at you. It's fascinating. I mean, I love this, the angles of the house and what's going on with the whole feel of it. I felt this way about every page, and I didn't have to remind myself to read the words because I can't help it, but I actually went through this much more slowly than I usually read a comic.
Oh, hey,
because I wanted to see everything that was going on.
Yeah.
And your panel layouts are beautiful.
Thank you.
You do something, you've got them floating there, but it's not hard to read. It's not confusing. The flow is great. And then you've got a page like this, where that mace is just coming right out. The foreshortening you did with the arm and the sticking out is, I mean, this is talent, folks. I cannot recommend this comic enough. I absolutely love it.
Oh, thank you.
Brendan did Inheritance with Doug Wood.
Yes.
If you ordered that, they're working on that. You've got the Royals, and I could have sworn you said you were working on another one on Kickstarter.
Oh God, I'm doing so many. I have a comic called Pond Scum that I do on my Coffee page that I'm funding one chapter at a time. And when we get them all funded, we're going to do an 80-page OGN. But I have 8 pages done. You can get a free sample of it on my Coffee store now, but you can also leave me a tip, which helps me make the next chapter. All that. That's like TMNT-ish.
Okay.
So that's a lot of fun. I got Circuit Champ coming up with John Solito in roundabout May. I've got Cosmic Wardens coming up with Casey Flynn, which that's a comic that's kind of like a tokusatsu Super Sentai Power Rangers kind of thing. Guyver, if you're into that. That's going to be summertime, and then I've got fall for October. Long Lambkin with Alice Quinn Rose, which is something that we've been working on for a couple of years now, and it's the kind of thing where it's like we're finally going to do it. So as like I said, I've already found myself with a full plate this year, but I'm always looking for more. So do more MaruKiri, obviously, but yeah, I like to stay busy. I have to.
Well, you mentioned Tokugatsu, which I only recently learned how to pronounce. Thanks to our friends at Life at Saturn, Dom and Lydia Monet.
Oh yeah.
Who were on the show a couple of weeks ago, and they're incredible.
No, I'm familiar. Yeah, no, they're way into that,
and they're great, really incredible. They were actually at Terrificon as well.
Oh, that's not surprising. They were at IC3 a couple of years ago as well.
Yeah, they're amazing. But they do some great stuff with that. I love how much you're doing. I'm so excited to see your work. And when I posted on the Comic Jam Discord that you were going to be on the show, man, they came with torches and pitchforks. No. Let
them come.
There's a change.org petition against the show now. No, everyone was really alive. It amazed me how many people showed up like, oh, I know him. And Elijah's like, I worked with him. And this one girl said I have his baby, which was weird, but I'm sure it's nothing to worry about.
That is weird. Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
So you've got a fandom in the comic creation world, which is cool. And the thing I hear the most, a lot of people talk about how talented you are, but is what a cool guy, what a nice guy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
and that means the world to me, because I mean, we're all out here humping our stuff, trying to make this our sole gig because we love it and it's our passion. And there's no reason to be a dick. And I've met a couple of dicks in this industry.
It's the kind of thing where you can. There's plenty of reasons to be a dick, right? Like this shit will grind you down. Comics will kill your soul. But it doesn't help. It hurts you more than it even hurts the people around you to feel that way. There's plenty of reasons to become ground down when working in comics, but the main thing that you have to remember is that you get to draw comics, and that's something that most people do not get to do. So there's plenty of reasons to be upset, but there's also the main reason to be happy and to be community oriented in the comics community is like we all got to lift each other up going forward.
And that's the goal of Fugitive Poems. That's why we do this show. I'm actually about to talk about a newsletter we're doing. That's the reason behind everything. It's hidden, but if you scroll down to the bottom of the Fugitive Poems website, you'll see it says illegitimately non carborundum. And I can't believe you were just talking about being ground down. It means don't let the bastards grind you down. And that's my personal motto. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Fuck them. And you just do your thing. Don't let them take you with them. Don't let them bring you into their miserable shit. It's just you want to be miserable, you go over there, and I'm not going to deal with it. And and that's my personal motto. I love it. And actually, so talking about rising, bringing people up. I wanted to show this, folks. If you go to the Fugitive Poems website, right under our little movie banner that we have, is a place to subscribe, totally free, just for your email address. And here's what you're going to get. We had huge success last month when I did the first one. I am putting out on Tuesday of this coming week, next week, Fugitive Pieces, the Fugitive Poem Zine, issue 2. We've got art by Claudio Gerardo, who's been in the chat, Dave Hangley, James Lines, Austin Pelosi, Ryan Santos, and Jack Van Tome. We got stories and poems by Bear Claw, Rufus Black, Mark Capitelli, and Evan Knapp. This is totally free. And I don't want to show you too much more. Don't want to show you too much more, but there it is. It's comics, it's short stories, it's poetry, it's art, it's photography. No pornography, sorry, folks. But you can always get. But it's totally free. All you got to do is sign up on our mailing list, and anybody, if you guys want to be in it. I'm just throwing it open to anybody. We want more of your work to get out there, and we've got a dedicated big mailing list of fans who love this kind of shit.
That's great.
So if you want to get your art out there, and Brendan, if you got I always joke about orphaned work. You got some shit that you threw to the side. That it's a zine. Doesn't have to be polished and finished. Send it to me, and we'll put it in. But folks, Tuesday, this is coming out, and just in your inbox. So if you want it, go to fugitivepoems.com, join the subscription, and it'll be there for you Tuesday. And because Mark's not here, he forgot to remind me to say this whole show. Like, subscribe, click notifications, do all the shit that professional YouTube people tell you to do. Imagine I'm heralding my wizardry at you to make you do it. Guys, this was a ton of fun tonight. Brendan, thank you for being on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
It was a really hard interview. It's like pulling teeth with you. Folks, you know what? Let me put it in the chat again. MaruKiri. Did I get it right that time?
Yes, you did. Very good.
All right. Woo! Guys, you can order it right now. When's the hard copy coming back in stock?
They'll be back in stock on the 5th of May. And that's not far. No, and I'll be shipping them out as soon as I get my hot little hands on them. So go ahead and order them up. And like I said, I handle all the processing myself, so I'll definitely have my fingers on it.
Let me say this. In preparation for the show, Brendan gave me a copy. I have on my computer a digital copy. I read the whole thing. I'm ordering a physical copy. I want this on my shelf. It is badass. So this is somebody who's already consumed the product, right?
Yeah.
This is such a cool book. And Brendan, you're a really cool dude.
Oh, thank you.
Any of this other stuff coming up, especially the boobs, I mean, the royal, let me know. If you want to be on, please, would love to have you back on at
Sure.
any point.
Yeah.
You want to come on with the writer of the Royal?
With John, that'd be a hell of a show.
Well, you got a ton of projects, and
Yeah.
I've got this show. So, folks, Brendan's a great guy. You've got in the chat, you've got the link to order MaruKiri. You've got all kinds of stuff here to check out the Royal and his Ko-Fi or coffee or
However you
coffee.
want to say it. I don't care how you say
exactly.
it.
That's the Brendan. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me. It was a brilliant time. I really appreciate it. And I hope
anytime.
we get to do it again.
This was great.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We are Fugitive Poems, and we make comics.